This is John Loughran Viewed Your Profile. This episode's guest is Group Vice President at PHM, Karima Sharif. Hello, welcome to episode 3 of John Loughran Viewed Your Profile, being filmed from the other corner of my basement this week. You can see all my other ridiculous stuff. New thing I want to try, if anyone knows the tune from my little opening there, feel free to throw it in the comments section and I'll give a shout out to whoever knows their music. Okay, so 2020 continues to kick the world in its collective groin. Since our last episode, we've now lost both Sean Connery and Alex Trebek. All the good celebrity Jeopardy references have already been made, so I just want to read what I think would be an appropriate Jeopardy answer. This is the thing that the year 2020 can kiss. The correct question, what is my ass? Super Sky point to 2 more legends we've lost this year. God bless you guys. Minor bit of news, we have a new president. And regardless of what side you stand on, here's hoping for progress and peace in our country. No jokes here, just being serious for a moment. Our girl Claire did a bang-up job as the Bachelorette. Falling for a guy on the first night and completely ignoring all the other dudes and just focusing on him. To the point where they had to end her journey and bring in a new Bachelorette. Seriously, I wish Claire and Dale weeks and weeks of happiness together. So this is going to be a really good episode, so I'm cutting myself short to get right to what's going to be a great and hopefully meaningful discussion with my guest. Karima Sharif from Publicis Health Media is an entrepreneurial media and marketing enthusiast with a wealth of experience, not saying you're old, a leader and mentor, and a woman very passionate about diversity and inclusion. Karima, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, John, for having me.
Anytime. First question, how has the last 8 months COVID-wise been for you and the fam?
It's been interesting, to say the least. We're homebodies a lot, so it came natural to us to hunker down and get supplies and work from home and do virtual school. And my son does a hybrid model. He goes to Roman Catholic, so some days he goes into school and some days he's working from his room. We're all just working from the home. It's been okay. We miss being outside. I definitely miss being in Center City, especially when the summer hit, going out to dinner and doing the fun things that happen in the city when the summer comes around. So kind of miss that, and I miss traveling a lot, but it is what it is. We're safe and we can't complain. We're blessed. So
how do you guys like Roman? That's a good high school.
I like it. It's a little bit different for him because he came from a Quaker school for his first 8 grades. So they were really granola, kind of laid back, and they're very diverse. And now he's going to an all-boys school. They wear uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
They have strict rules, and it was his choice. So that was very surprising to me. But he plays football, so a lot of his football friends go to Roman. So he just has a camaraderie, and it was his choice, and he's doing really well right now.
That's awesome. I also went to a Philadelphia Catholic all-boys school, but that was not by my choice by any stretch of the imagination. I kicked and screamed when I found out that that's where my mom wanted me to go. But it worked out really well. I learned a lot of stuff, right. And got my shenanigans in college, I guess. Okay, so obviously we've known each other for a long time. We both started our careers at the same company. You describe yourself on your LinkedIn profile as being entrepreneurial. Can you elaborate? I mean, I've known you working at agencies for what do you mean by being entrepreneurial?
That's a great question. Little fun fact about me is that I'm a notary, official notary in the state of Pennsylvania. So I do that. Oh.
I need things notarized frequently, so I might be hitting you up.
And I travel for it, so I am on call notary, and that comes with sometimes some marketing services. Why not utilize my degree in communication and MBA in entrepreneurial studies to use. So I do that on the side. I also did a soft launch last year. If people know me from way back, they'll know that I love shoes. I've always loved shoes, and I
Who
wanted
doesn't?
I wanted to open up a shoe boutique. Originally, I wanted a shoe truck.
Oh,
Um, so it's still on my to-do list. However, last year I did do a soft launch of an online shoe boutique called the Shoe Box. So I do a lot of things on the side that's fun that are part of my interests. And then also from a professional standpoint, in my career, I've always been on projects or help was on new business to bring in, new capabilities or, different ways to bring in revenue, whether it was, different digital services or, more of a risk share approach or something around agile marketing. I've always been tapped to kind of lead those teams and those projects.
nice, nice. Well, I'm trying to become a YouTube star. I've got tens of people watching me so far, so so far so good. I think
Uh,
episode 3 is going to be a winner.
that's
Uh,
one of my son's goals is a YouTube star, all that gaming stuff.
well, my kids, that's exactly what they watch, so there's definitely a market for it. Every video that I think, my God, this is so stupid, those are the kids laughing at me because they're making money doing the things they like.
Um,
Um, so you definitely, geez, keep yourself busy. I mean, day job, entrepreneurial, side hobbies, and then also, I mean, co-founder of the Healthcare Businesswomen's Association Women of Color Affinity Group. Um, Obviously, we're filming this on Veterans Day, so some big news just went down in the world. We have not only a new president, but we have our first female vice president, first female woman of color president.
and we give it up for that.
Absolutely. How awesome is that for you?
I think it's awesome. Just as when Barack Obama came into office, and I felt like my son was probably 4 or 5 years old. The impact that had on him and Black boys in America that they could achieve to be at the highest level. That's the same impact that I feel that Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is like is forging for young Black women of color that are like 4 and 5, and even at my age of like, hey, we're breaking glass ceilings, we're accomplishing a lot. And I started the Women of Color, or co-founded the Women of Color Affinity Group at the HBA. So I've been an avid member for over 10 years, doing volunteering and doing a lot of different events within my Philadelphia region. However, I started to think like, hey, there's something missing with the connectivity to Black women, women of color. And if you read a lot of the research from the McKinsey report to being Black in corporate America, there are some stark numbers that show us at the lowest bottom of the totem pole. So it is a need for us to see Kamala and at that high ranking level, but to also see, I'm really impressed to see a lot of women of color, even I'm Muslim, so even to see like some of them holding seats with the Senate and within the Congress and the House of Representatives, even at some of the local levels. So I'm really excited to just see that diversity start to come about.
That's great. That's great. And you're very active on LinkedIn. I know you post a lot, you like a lot of stuff strategically that then shows up on people's feeds. What are you trying to accomplish by some of the things that you post and like?
One is awareness. I love stories about accomplishments from Black individuals or people of color. So if someone is like just getting the first highest rank in the military, or opening up a new business and she's only 12 years old, like I really am excited to see that type of information and share it and bring awareness to it. That we just have so many different ways that we represent ourselves. It's not just a monolith type of approach. So I like to share those different stories. If you follow me, you also know that I like, innovation and technology, especially in the digital world or even in advertising. I'm a geek by nature. When I started off, even at a young age, I wanted to be in advertising. So I love everything about advertising, media, marketing. And my mom was a nurse, so then I loved a lot of things about healthcare. So when I see things of that nature, I like to share it. It's very interesting. You learn so much about it, and I think as much as we can bring awareness to diversity, inclusion, as well as innovation and technology in advertising and marketing, it keeps it very interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you talk about diversity and inclusion. We've been friends for a long time, but obviously I am a straight white male, the triple threat of being non-diverse. And it really kills me to kind of feel like I'm somewhat part of the group of, white men that, are a problem. So much obviously has happened in our country over the last several months. Most of my questions are supposed to be goofy, but this is a serious question. As a white male friend and colleague, what can myself and others do to, really to help and be supportive,
Yeah.
not patronizing or,
Right,
what I'm saying?
Right. No, I get you, and you're not the first to ask, so that's fine. I think that's why it's great that we're bringing awareness to it, because that's where you want to see hand raisers like yourself to figure out, like, okay, how can I, show up, do better. I know it's a lot to unpill. The onion definitely is being unpilled, but I would say my piece of advice is one, do some research. I've mentioned a McKinsey report. There are a number of books, movies. If the one thing that came out of COVID and all of the things that have happened, the social injustices, if you notice, Netflix has a whole channel where you can watch, different Black and brown movies, or multicultural movies. If you go to Apple, I mean, everyone is showcasing that, so it's not hard to find and research, and we have time too, so you can watch it or you can pick up a book. But I would say do the research, look at some of those numbers, because then even when I started to look at that research, I was like, oh, I thought I was in the one, and this is really a representation of a larger group of women. And then also how to be, I would say after that, to be an ally or a sponsor, and that's as easy as, if there's a job opening somewhere, like, open up your pool to make sure it's diverse, that you're picking, other people that represent different backgrounds, that you're giving them opportunities to be within your network and to be within, your professional and personal opportunities.
So, I mean, it's for obvious reason to me that you were named the Marie Curie Award winner from HBA. How big of an honor was that for you?
That was a huge honor. It was definitely a pleasant surprise. That day or that week was a pretty hard week for me, and then to go to an event and they're releasing the winners, and I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, I wonder who's going to win this. And I see my picture on the screen. I was like, oh, that's me. Like, it was a humbling experience. It was really the highlight of my week, my year. I thank my colleagues for even acknowledging me, because to get something, get an award for helping to start the Women of Color Affinity Group by doing something that I just naturally wanted to do and love to do. To be recognized for that, it was awesome, amazing.
That's gonna be me one day at the Nexus Awards.
Right?
God willing,
Right.
I'm trying to chase that thing down for kids.
You'll get it.
We'll see. All right, so some other personal stuff. You went to Temple for your undergrad, and I know you got a MBA from a little place called Rosemont College, which is ironic. This is the second time I've heard of Rosemont College of late, researching, viewing your profile.
Mm-hmm.
It also turns out I have a cousin who is a lot younger, but he just graduated from Rosemont College. Can you tell us anything about Rosemont? Because I've never really heard of it.
Little fun fact about Rosemont and why I chose it. They had an MBA that was focused on women's leadership because it was all women's college, and then it went. I'm trying to think what
Co-ed?
year. No, it went co-ed a couple of years ago. So if your cousin is a male,
he's a male. he is a male. Yes.
Yeah, because they wanted to get they wanted to stay competitive. It's a small Catholic college. They wanted to stay competitive and really represent the communities that they serve. So they're on the main line right down the street from Villanova. You probably would miss them because you'll see Villanova first. But they are, I went there because of the women's leadership program. I wanted to get my MBA with the specialization into women's leadership. Then they changed it to entrepreneurship, and I was like, okay, that's right up my alley too.
Perfect.
So it's a really good, I would say, liberal school where they teach you kind of that critical thinking, which and in the small cohorts. So your classmates, there were never more than like 15, maybe 10 or 15 people to a class, and sometimes you had different classes with them. So I really liked that experience because my undergrad, I went to Temple, which is a little bit of a larger school. So just to kind of have that diversity in my background, coming from a larger undergrad and going to a smaller, more intimate graduate school where I wanted more of that hands-on approach around critical thinking and critical skills, Rosemont was like the perfect opportunity for me.
Very cool. That's similar to what Hank Blaney, my first guest, said. He said if his undergrad was fun, his MBA was education. So definitely.
Good old Hank.
Yeah, good old Hank. Exactly. Hank's not old. Anyway. All right. So time to embarrass you a little bit. I went into the archives and found from the February 2011 issue of the Healthcare Marketers Exchange. We're all big fans of Nancy Leonard and her publication.
Yes, a great publication.
The Personal Exchange with Karima Sharif. This is going now on almost 10 years. So I wanted to ask if any of your answers would change. It sounded like your favorite TV show at the time was Law and Order. Is that still a big that's still on, right?
Not the original, but Law and Order SVU is still on. The new season is this Thursday.
Really?
So I still watch it. Just like I watched it 10 years ago when I was 15 years old.
Right. Yeah. It seems a little the ratings.
Mature.
I don't think 15-year-olds are supposed to be watching that, but
I love cop and crime shows. I wanted to be a lawyer. I think I mentioned that in my
You absolutely did. You mentioned wanting to be a lawyer, also that you love spicy nacho Doritos. And my favorite question was when they asked, "What's your favorite movie?" Do you remember what your answer at the time was?
My favorite movie, I have a couple of them. So it would be Grease. Grease is definitely one of them.
Yeah. The other one was a musical, Annie.
Annie, and now if I had to have my top five, I would add on Kill Bill. I love kind of Quentin Tarantino, and I just love the those movies, the martial arts, and just the dark comedy and just everything about it. And I like Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, the one where the priest like rips the heart out of the guy. And I'm trying to think. There's probably one more that
So you like gore. I mean, you sounds like you like.
No, I don't. I won't watch scary movies. And when I was younger, I would watch them like Freddy Krueger, all of them. I will not watch them now as an adult. I'm too afraid. So I'm not as adventurous either as an adult. So I don't do too much of anything, but probably watch TV and
Well,
read
that
books.
that can't be true because my next question was going to be something you said at least you did 10 years ago in order to, stay fit and active. You said you boxed. Do you still do that?
Like boxing. I do like boxing.
That's pretty adventurous.
Yeah, but it's just to me in the boxing bag. I'm not in a ring with.
You're not getting punched in the face repeatedly.
No. I would lose.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
The other thing, something that we definitely have in common, you, myself, and Will Smith, we're all Philly born and raised. I know you're a big Eagles fan, and what do you?
From Philly, I'm going to be a fan, so it doesn't matter if it's Eagles, Sixers, the Phillies. When Villanova won, if Temple won, anything, yeah, that's what.
Yep. Nice. Do you still trust the process?
Yes, you always have to trust the process.
You have to trust the process.
Yeah.
They never said how long the process was going to be.
No.
Could be. They had a 10-year plan, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been great. And anything else you want to talk about? Tell the people what's next for you.
I wish I knew what's next for you. Just keeping. I'm going to keep elevating my voice. You'll probably see me, talk more. I know next week the HBA is doing an annual conference. We are actually, the Women of Color Affinity Group actually is bringing content in. So the keynote speaker, Minda Harts, we were able to commission that so that we're keeping the topics relevant about women in color and some of the challenges and how to become an ally and a sponsor and stuff like that. So you'll continue to see me talk about that and try to make sure that I'm being the best mentor and leader that I can be, and also trying to always stay up on what's new digitally or within technology or healthcare.
That's awesome. Well, I've never heard a bad word spoken about you, so you're doing great things. And just like I said before we hopped on, this was gonna fly by.
Yeah, it did.
I think people will really enjoy everything that you had to say, and I really thank you again for taking the time to join us. Hey.
Thanks for having me. I can't believe you dusted off that old piece and nothing really changed.
You look exactly the same.
Creature of habit.
Yeah. I think you have a different pair of glasses, but otherwise.
Yes. My son hates those glasses. When he sees those pictures, he's like, "Mom, what those glasses, like, trash them." I'm like,
you know what? When I look back at any picture from any time period, it's always like, what the hell was I thinking? So those were probably the coolest glasses in the world at the time.
They were.
Definitely.
I think they were cat eyes or something.
Looks like that might have been the style. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Well, this is great.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Okay, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to be a guest, be sure to get in touch with me somehow, and we'll talk about it. Till next time. Bye.